Before I start with Isaiah 21 through 30, I want to remind you that the people who wrote the Bible, were sages. These were not holy people. These are scribes. These are people who are immature, and they're trying to write things in a way that favors the Baalists, right? Zeus was the main deity in that region, Baal, Set, and they're trying to make it seem like, hey, they're the good guys, I'm the bad guy, okay? It's a bit complicated. Now, if you interpret it with righteousness and justice, you're forced to see that I'm the good guy. I'm living moral precision. They're living conformity and evil in such an intense way, with such extreme propaganda and pathetic psychology and things that are for the arts of deception, things that their own Bible condemns. These people launched inquisitions and all kinds of clan activities and all kinds of LGBT and the spectrum of white supremacist churches, token minorities, all kinds of despicable things of this nature, which made it clear that no culture that exists after I'm gone can be trusted or is righteous. They're not even teaching you not to breed, even though Luke 23 makes it clear. Okay, people are acting like complete idiots. In Paul's letters, he also says, don't breed unless you can't contain yourself. Okay, why are there so many Christians and Muslims and Jews, and why do they keep breeding? Because they're from the synagogue of Satan. They're Baalists, and they want you to interpret Isaiah, especially because a lot of these people are Jews and they only go by the the Old Testament. The Old Testament. Okay. Test a mind, set alpha mind, right? Set in the Bible replaces Abel, okay, and Phoenicians, phonetics, right? Canaanites, okay, and you also have the Bible by Bel, by Bol, by Zeus, by Baal. So they're trying to make it seem like the big guy, the tall kind of English guy, and the short kind of guy, and their demon spirits are ideal, right? The short Jew and so on and so forth, and everyone wrong with them. Okay, it's that petty. They're idolaters, statues and states of mind, paintings, and notice they don't talk about these things in the church. They don't explain to you that the Jesus image they're using is Serapis, whose name is rapes, is scrambled. They don't talk about wordplay unless you're in a cult abusing people like me because you worship the devil or something. Okay, it's fucking pathetic. All right, so first of all, let's shoot through this now. Isaiah 21 is a prophecy against the desert by the sea. Okay, there's an invader from the desert. It's going to be like whirlwinds, okay? It comes, okay, so morning comes also night. It's a prophecy against Edom and Arabia. So what do they tell you in Isaiah 21? Notice it's coded. In a sense, the Bible, you can get the truth from it, but it's such a pain in the ass. Instead of explaining in terms of Set and Horus, you get this long, drawn-out book, because Set made a deal with Apep and Baal and these massive pagan cults. He's the deity of foreigners. He made a deal with all the foreign deities. They formed the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order, okay, to confuse this stuff so they can get more women who seem more decent, okay? It's very sad to see women who think of themselves as decent falling for this, because then they breed with these guys and they get these horrible people. The Bible refers to them as abominations, as mixing the wine, okay, drunk off their stupidity, drunk off their rape energy, drunk off the blood of the saints. Anyway, so we get to Isaiah 22, okay, a day of tumult, trampling, and terror in the valley of vision. They love that vision, Golgotha, the place of the skull where Jesus is, they love the argument of change your perspective, very immature. There's only one truth, but they pretend there's different truths. They do the same thing in the Star Wars movies. Okay, very immature, very immature. Okay, they talk about Elam takes up his quiver, Ker uncovers his shield, the mighty man will be hurled, and they talk about Elikam, son of Hilkiah, who takes over. Okay, he's some kind of a sage. He puts a sash on himself. He becomes a peg for him and his family, and he deals in illusion, and a lot of people think they're doing the right thing. They kind of build him up, and they cut him down. That's kind of what we're seeing now with all this technology, all this open debauchery and moral decadence with no logical path to proceed to righteousness and justice in the future. There's no logical path. You're not going in the logical way. If you're not doing what's logically right, you're doing what's wrong. Why are you still here? Kind of thing, right? So they built up that peg, and they're cut down, right? Eli, right? Eli is lie scrambled. A, Ki, Ha. Ki is G, the earth deity, the earth energies in martial arts and in gay sex cults and so on and so forth. Okay, so, profane martial arts, not my Royal African Falcon righteousness, moral precision from heaven, right? It's wrong to cheat the mighty moral African guy of his right to lead the humanity. I'm sure we can all agree on that. Who in Western culture, for example, is comparable to Martin Luther King, except for me, who transcends him. Okay, That's why they changed my voice and my image. I noticed recently that they even changed my nose. It's looking more like a Jewish nose. And I don't think that's a coincidence. They love these little image games. They love this kind of witchcraft, switchcraft, right? Transformation, transmutate. They love all this kind of, hocus pocus garbage. Harry Potter, Merlin, Gandalf the Grey kind of nonsense. Disneyland, Mickey Mouse, Fantasia kind of rubbish. Anyway, Isaiah 23, a prophecy against Tyre. Okay. Basically, she turned to prostitution. She's set apart by the synagogue of Satan, and she's going to suffer. Tyre's going to suffer to the extreme. Many times. Let's just keep going. Isaiah 25, the Lord's devastation of the earth. Okay, they have to bear the guilt for all the horrible things they've done. Okay, lays waste the earth. Okay, devastates it. Okay, all the heavens are said to languish with it, because they're talking about. Sometimes they talk about in a way of psychology. To the inhabitants of the earth, they no longer see the beauty of heaven. And the purpose of part of the purpose of heaven is for humans to see the stars and appreciate the beauty, but they bred such patheticness, and they turned to technology, and they turned away from the Lord with no way back. So it's defiled by its inhabitants. They broke the laws and statutes and the everlasting covenant. It falls never to rise again. Okay. They say glory to the righteous one, but it says with treachery, because of treachery I waste away. The treacherous betray. With treachery, the treacherous betray, I waste away, right? And the treacherous betray. So what does it mean? So you're wasting me in my presence here, okay? I'm going to heaven, and I'm going to judge people sitting at the throne of God. We'll get to that momentarily. But they wasted my presence here. Waste, the word waste is waste set. Also, the earth becomes a waste dump, a toxic waste dump. The wasted, the technologies, the kind of filthy people that are left, and so on and so forth. No heart, no moral excellence, no moral might, and on and on and on. No moral maturity, just weirdos, and so on and so forth. All right, where are we? 25. Okay. So anyway, we're still on 24. Those who flee the terror fall into the pit. Those who are caught climb out of the pit. Are caught in a snare. The floodgates of the heavens open. The foundations shake. The earth is violently shaken. Again, it falls never to rise again. So 25. Praise to the Lord, refuge for poor and needy from the storm and the heat. Okay. God conquers death for the righteous. Okay, but the world becomes the realm of the dead. Okay. All right. So 26. A song of praise. Judah sings at their walls and ramparts are strong. The true Judah, not synagogue of Satan, and I'm it right now. I'm the last one, the first and last. God makes righteous path. My parents will blame us. God makes the path of the righteous smooth. Okay, their souls yearn for God. My heart yearns for God, and the souls and the hearts of the righteous. Okay, I sit on judgment. God is the spirit of justice for me when I sit on judgment. Okay. And again, this has to do with the wise and foolish builders, right? Justice, righteousness, the garments of righteousness, true love, grace, the truth, the way the truth and life made me a fortified tower. That if someone was righteous, they'd run to God and me and would be safe, and they'd rally physically, as that is God's orders through me. And we don't see anyone following them, and that's also a sign of the times when thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people are aware of what's going on, and they're from all the cultures in the world. They're no different than other people in the world. They're the same kind of run-of-the-mill person from this culture, this race, that race, and all of them failed. It's a clear-cut sign that this world is being sealed in hell. Okay, you understand what a dark rain cloud means, but you can't see that. It's pretty stupid, right? So 27, deliverance for Israel. Okay, now who are they talking about? They're talking about anyone who comes to me and obeys God. Okay, everyone else is going down to the realm of the dead. Okay, and then after I die, there's no path of righteousness and justice. It's best all the people who rally to me, they're better off dying with me. Okay, and they're certainly not better off pretending that they're continuing my work after I'm gone. An utter disgrace. So God is going to use his fierce, mighty, and powerful sword to punish the gliding serpent of the sea, Leviathan. Okay, only those who are in the divine order and obey God through me will be saved. Okay, let's just go to the next chapter, 28. Woe to the people of Ephraim, I guess, and Judah. Because of their pride, God has one with power, and one who's powerful and strong, like a hailstorm and a destructive wind. like a flood in a rain and a downpour. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm being fumed pretty heavily. Okay, these people are so bitch that they fucking have to fume me while I'm making this message. Okay, change my image and my voice. You don't understand the significance of that. Okay, it is fucking pathetic to breed with them, to continue them with them, to obey the devil through them. Okay, so my spirit that they're confusing about by fume me, and so on and so forth, is powerful like a windstorm, a flooding rain and a downpour. Okay, and take the wreath of Ephraim and throw it forcibly to the ground. Okay, God is a wreath in the crown for those who obey Him. The Spirit of justice helps me with my judgments. Okay, their prophets and their people go mad from their breeding, right? The wine is the blood, right? They're drunk off the blood of the saints. They're drunk off the blood in their veins because they've been bred to be scum. Okay, to make a long story short, people who try to flee the terror will be captured. The scoffers and mockers boast that they have a covenant with the realm of the dead, an agreement with the realm of the dead. Okay, and that they made the lie their hiding place, psychology, and in a trance-like state, etc. Okay, so God said He's going to put a precious cornerstone. Those who rely on it will never be put to shame. Okay, with justice, the measuring line, and righteousness, the plumb line. This remembers Isaiah 28. And hail will sweep away their refuge, the lie, and water will overflow their hiding place. Okay, their covenant with death will be annulled. It will not stand. Okay, the overwhelming scourge will beat them down. Okay, even knowing this will make people terrified. Those who avoid understanding this will be made even weaker and more pathetic in the afterlife. Okay, so that brings us to Isaiah 29. Woe to David's city, Ariel, right? Satan said to be the Lord of the air, El, right? They're brought down to the dust. It's like a snake. It's like those attractive women, those people who are given much, who are supposed to take my side, be they martial artists who seem more decent than others, be they, they're basically the rich scum, people who in the church who are supposed to, everyone you can imagine that was given a lot spiritually. It's not really spiritually, but in terms of decency, the ability to receive spirit, okay? Attractive women especially is probably number one on the list. There's no excuse for them choosing to have sex with pedophiles and they're helpless and a sort of scum. They're brought down to the dust like a snake, okay? They will be thoroughly punished forever. There's no hope for them at all, okay? The tempest and the flames of God, the fire, okay? The windstorm, the various ways that symbolize the ways God can punish people that He's shown us through nature. He says, I can punish people with these things and the source of these things, and His power is unlimited and so on and so forth. All right, so people pay God lip service. Their hearts are far from Him. Okay? The ruthless will vanish. The mocker will disappear. The word disappear is a play on words for dies, rape. Believe it or not, that's actually what their occultists are planning to do. Okay? The wayward in spirit will learn their occult ways and act like a bitch. Okay? And so on and so forth. Okay? This is one of those confusing parts. We're referring to people who go fucking insane and choose to go to hell. Okay? They're going to think that everything is not so bad on the way to the lake of fire. Okay, and they'll be raped by deception. Okay, they'll be too crazy to be ashamed of what they're doing. So they say Jacob will no longer be ashamed. Why? Because he's lost his fucking mind. Okay, those who die and go to heaven with me won't be ashamed of anything, because people are trying to make you feel ashamed on this world for doing the right thing. And there's the application too. So again, going back to the beginning of this video, morning will come and also night. Confusion, not knowing what makes them stumble, so on and so forth. Okay, Isaiah 30. Woe to the obstinate nation. He formed an alliance, but not by God's Spirit. They heap sin upon sin. They rely on the Egyptians. They call them Rahab, the know nothing, right? They pretend they're men of God, men of Ra. Rahab, Ra, Habi. You're, what? You think you're of Ra? What are you doing? You're doing nothing. You're doing illusion and bitch shit like that. Okay. So they deal in illusion psychology. They relied on oppression and deceit. They think that they're wise. God is the God of justice. He's going to punish the cowards to the extreme. They think that their moon, the prince of darkness, is going to shine 7 times brighter than the sun. And Topheth, another word for hell, Tophet is a word for hell, is waiting for them. And this is where one of the places where it says the king, right? The king of the world and all those who follow him and accept his spirit are in this world in hell. These people are cultists, cult of the flesh. Might be trying to burn me to death. I don't know what their plan is, but they're saying, hey, what we have in store for you, because they're bitch-ass motherfucking cowards, hit for my challenge, tail tucked completely. They're saying, hey, we have hell in your mind awaiting for you here. Hi, guys, hi. They're just fucking